Hey, if you're tuning into this segment, it means you ain't afraid of no ghost. Today we're going to be checking out a previous release, but I just happened to cross this, and I figured last weekend was Ghostbusters Day, and we have more news in the logo for the upcoming film, so I thought it was a good time to check out this gem from 2021 that came out around the release of Afterlife, and of course it's Ectotron. This is Ectotron version 2. The first Ectotron was 2019. They had that crossover, and he was an SDCC exclusive and a vintage-inspired G1 sort of look to the packaging there. And it had the Ecto one, which was Ectotron with the Slimer. This one is a Afterlife-based version, so he's got a little bit more weathering going on the Ecto one and the Ectotron. He comes with Slimer, but he also comes with Muncher from Afterlife. So let's start by taking a look at the package, like we always do. If we look at this one, it's a little different than the STCC version. This one isn't rectangular. This is more of a card back here, but it still has that G1 inspired look. You can see with that vector graphic there behind the Ecto 1 and that Transformers logo. And then you get to the back, of course, it has that standard Transformers, more than meets the eye, little battle going on in the background, and then the card with ranking his attributes. Scores pretty high on Ghostbuster, probably more so than other Autobots do. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. You also have the Ghost Core logo on there, but I like the packaging. It keeps that G1. I think the 2019 one was more true to what the G1s were. They all came in those little boxes. But this is fine for sort of a reissue with a new paint and a new accessory. So let's hop in and check this guy out. If you're not in a rush to open this figure, you can kind of preserve the packaging, as these little plastic flaps here can be cut off from the tape, allowing you to do this without tearing the card back apart and take out all the good insides here. So we have the figure here, cemented or captured in plastic. So in addition to the figure, you got this comic here, which is the crossover with the Ghostbusters. So you got a nice comic here, and I believe it's Ghost of Starscream, which makes sense because he was a prominent character in a couple series. In the recent, or more recent Prime trilogy, he was also a character. But it goes over conversion here, and both ways, because obviously you want to get him back into robot mode or into his vehicle mode and not have them trapped. So let's take a look at all of these little accessories too. Like I said, this is the Afterlife version, so it's going to be a little bit different. It's the same basic Ectotron, but he's going to have some more accessories. He's going to have a new paint job on him. So of course, one of the new accessories that we have is Muncher here. And Muncher's got all 6 of his arms. One's folded over here on his side. But it's got a nice kind of rubbery, like light, not dense, rubbery aspect to him. I think he's a little hollow, but he still feels pretty solid. So it's cool they included Muncher, and that kind of makes it uniquely Afterlife in that sense. And then we have our, of course, Slimer, which has kind of become synonymous with Ghostbusters. He's there, and I believe this is the same. I think he might be a slightly different color. So he has a translucence here, and I think he was more solid in the original release. But I believe it's the same mold, though, so nothing's changed there. Of course, we have his proton pack here, and a little connector cable, and then the neutrino wand as well. So all those parts are here. Nice details, and I think this makes up sort of the top of the vehicle in addition to the pack as well. So we'll be taking a look at all this as it all comes together. And then we have the character himself here. Let's see if I can get him out without a struggle. It's like one more hidden thing holding him in, I'm sure. There we go. 2 more hidden things. There we go. Okay. All right, that was it. So here's our Ectotron, looking pretty sharp. Don't want to accidentally convert him out of robot mode, so let's get him stable here so he could stand. All right, here we go. Let's give you guys a 360 of Ectotron in his robot mode. You can see him standing tall here. I like how he has the goggles on. You can see those on his face there. It just gives him a little bit more into the story. With wearing the goggles, one of the accessories. Those were mostly, I believe, worn by Ray. Maybe in the second film, I think Egon had him, but it was mostly Ray. He was kind of the guy that had the accessories, carried the trap, wore the goggles, all the kind of fun stuff. He liked playing with the toys. But other than that, I think he looks pretty sharp here. There's all different components that we'll get into in a moment, but you can see the lights on the top, the No Ghost logo on the side. You can see the fender, of course, and those Cadillac lights. And then a little bit of wearing you can make out on the shoulders for the front of the vehicle. And we'll take a look at it when we convert it to car mode, just to see what it looks like. But that's essentially our Ectotron there. Let's get him holding his pack and stuff. I'll have to consult the accessories here to make sure I'm putting this on right. So yeah, the hose will connect into his hand, and so this hose right here is essentially going to be what connects to the wand, and that should go right into the back here. And then we'll put the wand in his hand, and then this should slip onto the pack, onto his back. So not too difficult to get him once we have him in, there's a little slot here, once we have him in robot mode, but I'm sure I'll figure it out in a second. There we go. In robot mode, so he's got his pack on, he's got his neutrino wand, he's got his particle accelerator. He could start hunting down some ghosts. So this is what he looks like essentially in robot mode. He's got this pack, and you know, a little fun with the tubing on the backpack here, that it's not all just molded in one piece. There's a little tube that sticks out as well, just to give it a little bit more dimension to this piece, which is kind of fun. And it's not just all layered in together. I like when they have things layered on top of each other. It just gives a little depth to the character. But that's basically him in robot mode. He can hunt his ghosts along with the guys. And let's take a look. I'll do a quick cut so you don't have to watch me struggle with the transforming, and we'll show you what he looks like in vehicle mode. All right, not gonna lie, that took me a while. Trick was I didn't follow the instructions because the instructions just did not make sense. So it's just a little difficult. The problem is they have these flexible pieces on here that are these little rubber tubings, particularly this blue one. It wants you to connect it on the side in here before you drape it through. If you do that, it just hangs over too much and doesn't let you get this piece in. So I just pulled it taut and then threw it through. So, you know, whatever you need to do to get it to work is really the solution to Transformers. They don't always optimally run the same. Like this yellow cord here just barely has enough length to make it into the front. So I just had to make some slight modifications. I mean, it looks like it's supposed to look, but I didn't exactly do it the way it wanted me to. But, you know, whatever you got to do with Transformers. So this is our Afterlife Ecto. You can see it has a little bit more wearing here on the front with this painted sort of rust on it. Other than that, it's pretty much the same exact Ecto here. You can check it out in the close-up. I mean, no deviations. Of course, it was the same Ecto in the movie, just an older version of it. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more weathering on the side, or just make it look dirty. I mean, they did, you could tell they did sort of crack up the Ghostbuster logo there and make it look like it's breaking apart and peeling. So they did that at least, but they could have went a little bit further on the tires, on the panels, just to make it look a little bit more worn for that Afterlife look. But other than that, it looks, I mean, pretty sharp. It's the Ecto 1. So kind of cool to have this, to have the, in the functional wheels, of course, to have the Ecto 1, to have these little ghosts, and then have it transform into Ectotron and have its own little neutrino wand. So that's really fun. That's really all there is to this thing. It's just a great display piece. It's nice to have. If you miss it the first time around, Hasbro gave you a second shot in 2021, inspired by the Afterlife film, to sort of just reissue it. Maybe we'll get it again when the new movie comes out. Who knows? But yeah, these are both sold out. They've been, you know, not in print for a while, so you're not going to be able to find it on anyone's website. I don't know if you're lucky, maybe. You can get it in the secondary market around 70, 80 bucks for this guy. I think the other one's a little bit more for the Comic-Con version. Yeah, it's kind of unique. It has these rubber pieces on it too, these flimsy rubber pieces in addition to the hard plastic pieces. So that's really Ectotron here. I could try to do a reverse really quick. Let me see if I get it on camera. So we're just gonna pop out this ladder that kind of just pops in a little flimsy piece, take out the neutrona wand. This just kind of hangs in there, and this is how you can mount it on the pack too. If you wanted to mount it on his back, you could do that. We'll unplug this hose, and this hose doubles as the hose for the neutrona wand. And then we have this other additional hose here. This is just basically on here to just, you know, create the antenna effect. This all folds up here, and this connects inside the pack here. I had it in the outside before, but I didn't see the instruction. And it all kind of tucks away, giving you the perception of an extra hose there on the side. And then, like I was saying, you could have the neutrona wand, and you could plug it in here on the side and give the appearance that it's hanging on the pack, just like that. And then, of course, this goes into the wand itself in the back area here. And then that is the whole pack part of Ecto-1, or I'm sorry, Ectotron. And the rest of it is just popping out panels and moving things around until you get back into that robot mode. Not too difficult. I mean, the design of this is very similar to like the Wheeljacks and the Jazzes I've seen in the past, so it's kind of easy to figure out. I mean, more power to you. I really respect the people that could do these conversions without any sort of looking at the directions. Because for me, something always, I always forget a step or something always goes wrong. Yeah, so these panels just pop out to the side here with a little bit of effort. I don't want to break anything. It's relatively new still, so it shouldn't just snap on me. I haven't broken a transformer yet. I don't want to jinx that record. So yeah, so these pop out on the side there. This central unit here pops up, and then you can get his legs going. This is a standard sort of way to get the legs out of the body, and they kind of fold over in there. And then you had the feet come out, and then the heel part come out on both of these sides here to give stability in the legs. And then you could turn this little ladder thing down, and then it just kind of hangs there. So that's the bottom part of his torso. That wasn't that hard, so we'll just keep going here in the top part. It's going to break out here. We're going to have the hands come out of both sides here, create our arms. These are going to turn some direction. Yeah, these are going to loosen this way and then turn forward. And it kind of creates like a shoulder armor here for him. This one is going to detach and then turn forward as well. So now we have our arms, we have our legs. The only thing we're missing is our head. So we just popped out the chest, head comes out, boom, and there's our Ectotron, and that was our conversion back into robot mode. A lot faster than me putting it into Autobot or car mode. Yeah, I'm much better taking these guys into robot mode. I don't know why. I just can't get them, it takes me a while to get them to convert into the standard mode, but that's just me. I've been doing this since playing with Transformers since the 80s, so you'd think I'd be a lot better at it, but I still struggle over a longer period of time. The only thing I'm not getting on is his backpack. There we go. I got his proton pack on now, nice and secure, and you can see that proton wand on the side there. So that is Ectotron. The little Stay Puffs, mini puffs helped me take a look at them today. And here's Slimer, and this one's a little squishier than Muncher, but you got some ghosts. And these remind me of back in the late 80s, I think it was, yeah, late 80s when we had the real Ghostbuster set. We had these some transparent ghosts like this that came with the base figures, and of course you can get those. They've been reissued, and they popped up at Walmart and whatnot, so you could pick those up too. Those are a lot clearer than these. These are a little bit a little bit less translucent, a little bit more detailed, and some texture on them as well. The other ones were smoother. So it's nice to include those though, because it's kind of a fun throwback. So not only are you getting a G1 style Transformer, but you're also getting like a, I'll call it G1 style Ghostbusters, one of those real Ghostbusters toys based on the cartoon that came out, and then the little Kenner aesthetic that came with them. So a lot going on with this guy. A lot of fun. Wish I picked him up when he was still, reasonable price. I grabbed him at my local comic shop for about, I think, $70. But like I said, he's retailing for that right now. He's pretty cool. I gotta say, I'm disappointed in myself that I missed him. He's one of those cool crossovers. They did a lot going on right now. I mean, they got one out right now. We covered in our stories for Jurassic Park for the 30th. It's a Dilophosaurus Jeep crossover. So check that one out as well. But yeah, this is our fun little look at Ectotron. Just wanted to do something since Ghostbusters Day was just this past weekend. We had the announcement, a lot coming up. Hopefully we'll see something at Comic-Con, maybe a trailer or a new product announcement. It's been a while since we got anything from Hasbro. We got the Proton Pack and that was great. And then that was it. We haven't had a new wave of Plasma series. We haven't had any accessories or roleplay accessories introduced. I mean, we were all hoping for the Ecto goggles, a trap, or heaven forbid we finally get a new PKE meter, which is still commanding a crazy price for the Matty Collector one. So we'll see what Hasbro does. Hopefully they don't leave us in the dark for too much longer. But this was a pretty cool crossover for them, 2021. And like I said, just a rehash of that 2019, but worth checking out. If you can find them for a good price, totally recommend getting them. I mean, for me, he's worth it. I'm a Ghostbusters fan, and this is just a fun little mash of two of my favorite things, Transformers and Ghostbusters. So that's this guy. That's all for now. Next week, we're going to have a surprise of new products based on an upcoming film. Don't want to spoil it, so tune back for those. And we'll be taking a look at some other things as well. We're going to lead into what I want to call Spider-Man month. So we'll be checking out a bunch of his gallery of rogues. So that's all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow, and we'll see you guys next time.